Hi guys, we're going to talk a little bit about posture. It's really important in this modern world where we've got computers and iPads and iPhones where we're looking forward a lot, that we actually do things to help open up, maintain our posture. As soon as we're doing, or if we're doing a lot of looking forward, it starts to create shortening of these muscles, weakening of the muscles behind the back and in between the shoulder blades, and also it starts to create some forward neck posture. So I'm going to outline a few stretches that we can actually go through, and you can start to implement them easily at home or in the workplace. Okay, so your spine has three curvatures. Should have a backward curvature in the neck and a backward curvature in the lumbar spine, and an opposing equal and opposite curve through the middle section. Now, if you're dropping a line from your ear, that line should pass through those three curvatures. But what we're seeing more and more of these days is the head posture starting to move forward like that, and that gravity line dropping forward of the neck, which is then starting to create compensating postures in the lower part of the back, creating forward tilting of the hips, and that has a whole cascading number of effects, such as creating hip flexor tightness, which will develop lower back pain and pain into the upper part of the lumbar spine. As well as, when you lose the neck curvature, people tend to be more prone to headaches and tightness across the shoulders. With your neck, if your head, for every centimetre your head is forward, it adds about 4 kilos of extra weight that your muscles have got to hold up. So if you're developing some forward head posture, it's no wonder that you're starting to develop tension across your shoulders. So I'm going to move in and show you a few basic stretches now. So the first stretch that we're going to show you is a corner stretch. Literally what you're going to do is put your hands at ear level with your elbows bent, and you're in the corner stretching forward to open up your chest. The next one we call YWTL, and the way we do that is it's really important to roll your shoulders out. So we put our arms straight up with our with our thumbs pointing backwards, and for this one you stretch up and pull backwards like that. You should feel that bite across your shoulder blades. Then you're pulling here with your arms back. So the first one looks like a Y, the second is a W, and then T, so thumbs backwards, still pulling backwards like that, and then the last one is L, and we're doing that thumbs pointing backwards again. Now if you do that a few times a day, that'll start to build some really good tone between your shoulder blades, and that's the basis of holding your shoulders in the right position, combined with that corner stretch we just showed you. As mentioned earlier, with forward posture, it can develop tightness of the hip flexors, which will create forward tilting of the pelvis. So it's really important to regularly stretch your hip flexors. There's two simple ways we get people to do this. I find the stretch where you spread your legs, you have your rear leg pointing out, your foot pointing out about 45 degrees to the other, and you stretch forward, and you're feeling a stretch in the front of your hip here. You can add some stretch to that by stretching upwards with your hand and reaching upwards, and that'll intensify the stretch there. Or the other way to do it is to tilt your pelvis, so you're almost flattening your lumbar spine and tilting your pelvis back, and that'll actually isolate some stretch in the front of your hip. Now, the other way of doing that is I'll use this chiropractic table, but you could use the end of a lounge chair or a seat or something. You stand next to it, you put your knee up, and then you slide your knee back, and same, tilting the pelvis in and stretching forward like that, bending your front knee. You should get a really good stretch into your hip flexors there. Now, there's lots of different ways you can do hip flexor stretching, but they're just two really easy ways, and I'd recommend doing that regularly throughout the day, particularly if you're sitting for long periods.
Action.
The next exercise is really simple. You roll up a towel like this, quite tightly, so it's quite firm, a lot of my patients actually do this, and they tape it so they've got it there all the time next to their bed. And literally what you do is you lay there with that towel in behind your neck and slightly lift your chin, and what that's doing is it's helping remold the backward curvature in your neck, which is really important for maintaining that posture and creating a counterbalance to the poor postures that you might be partaking during the day. The next thing I'd recommend is using what we call a posture pole. Now, a posture pole looks like this. It's a foam roller cut in half, and literally what you do is lay down on this posture pole with your arms and shoulders rotated outwards, head on the top of it, running down your spine, and that actually helps reduce the excessive curvatures that develop with forward head posture and the compensation through your thoracic and lumbar spine. So thanks guys, I hope that's given you some really good things you can do regularly. Just remember, don't get stuck in front of your screens for too long. As mentioned, you can start to change your light settings on the computer, so you're reducing the amount of white, blue light exposure, and set up your workstation in a way that keeps your spine and your posture upright to maintain the healthier spine.